So this is a test of the emergency broadcast system and also my decibel level.
Which of you guys is excited to get hosed out of that hot new Captain Marvel Lego exclusive at Comic-Con?
100% of us.
Okay. It's episode 160, part 2, E3, We Were Gamers, a podcast with JJ.
Hello.
Michael.
Hey, everybody.
Andy. Hello, everybody. And that was weird. Why did I do that? And
Complete the effect.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. E3 is over. Officially. We did our first episode smack in the middle of it, so we missed a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, we only missed one thing, but it's a million things. What is that called? When it's what area is that? Like kingdom, but underneath kingdom is phylum, class, family.
Like a subcategory?
I guess.
Did you want to go through the whole taxonomy? I think I still have it memorized.
Do it.
Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
Yep.
Nice.
Well done.
So we missed Nintendo is what I'm alluding to. Nintendo.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do that today. It's going to take the whole time. But first, have you ever broken a pipe?
Wait, let me recover from that hard left turn.
In what respect?
Pipes that carry water?
Maybe. Probably not intentionally.
Yeah. Homeowning is a delicate dance sometimes of doing things the right way and sometimes just beating them until they work. And it's hard to know where the line is once in a while. And maybe you get it wrong and then you have to use a hole saw to get into a pipe that you shouldn't have been shoving things into with a hammer.
Wait, you were sticking things with a hammer into a pipe?
What?
I had a valve break on a shower head. It was starting to really leak a lot. And so I finally took it apart. And new shower valves and old shower valves are slightly different. And so, if you don't grease the pipe enough and know that actually this one's a millimeter shorter than that one, then you'll get things stuck, and then you got to break them, and then once they're broken, you got to drill them out, and then once you drill them out, you might damage the pipe. Spend a little extra time sometimes just staring at stuff.
I'm very sorry.
It's okay. It's all repaired.
Do a lot of Googling. That's what I do when I involve home projects.
Yeah.
I spend more time Googling about it, and YouTube, yeah.
It's just amazing.
I spend more time doing that than actually fixing it half the time.
It's just amazing. You go to the store and they look identical, but actually there's another one, and the part numbers are etched on the very bottom. But if you've had them a long time, they wear. It's just a lot. Sometimes it's just a lot for the dumbest, smallest things. $15 turns into $45 in the blink of an eye.
I feel you on that for sure. I got by a similar tiny thing in homeowning this week. For no reason that any of us could discern, the switch in our bathroom that controls the fan decided it wanted to be on always, regardless of the state of the switch.
Oh yeah, cool. Your resistor broke.
Something inside the switch box, but not the part that does the switching, like the thing that holds the plastic cover on.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a little clip that broke off. You can't just replace the plastic cover. You have to replace that whole box, which
sense.
is annoying.
Yep.
I just wanted the plastic cover, man. Anyway. So you take that thing out. Luckily, you turn the... luckily, it trips the circuit breaker for you because there's nothing you're going to be able to do to turn that off no matter how you try. So, flip the circuit breaker, unscrew some things, screw some things back in. And there's like 3 different shades of off-white. And,
Wait, what?
you go to the Home Depot store and like your wall switches.
Oh, I thought
there's like
oh,
3 shades.
I had a moment
There's
of panic there where I thought you were saying all the wires in that box were off-white.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I paid very close attention when I unscrewed them as to which thing they were attached to, and I attached them to the similar thing on the new one.
It should be white, black, and green if you have Romex.
Didn't even look at it. Didn't even look at it. I was just like, this one's attached to A1, I'm attaching this to A1. This one's on B1, I'm attaching this to B1.
Got it.
Like that. So, really easy. But the Switch colors in the store, there's the white one, there's the off-white one, there's the other off-white one, and then there's like the beige one.
Right.
And maybe I think we've talked about it in this, but I don't have the greatest colors in my eyes, maybe.
I've wondered often if we should do some sort of test with you on like people and their games, making sure they're accessible enough for people with color blindness, but then we never mention it enough on this show.
The problem is that I'm not like all the way colorblind like some people are. It's like I just have, there are certain combinations that are hard for me.
Yeah, when you put especially close colors next to each other, right?
Yes, especially that, and also especially like certain like browns and reds that are in greens or whatever. Anyway, whatever the kind is, there's the dot test where they show you a dot and everyone sees a number. I see different numbers. And anyway, these shades looked, as far as I could tell, pretty much darn identical.
Mm-hmm. You're saying your wife should have gone instead of you?
Possibly, yes. But, the Switch is fine. It's just that now it's different from the other ones in the house. And it's going to bother me, but probably no one else, because no one will ever see this.
Oh, no, that would bother me forever. It would drive me insane. We have some Switches in our house that are the old Switch, like everyone uses the new Decora flat Switch where you kind of slap your hand on the wall and it goes up and down. But when you
the up and down ones,
the
right?
up and down ones are.
You're talking the tab, the ones though,
right? Like the ones everyone grew up with, right?
Yeah, I still have a few of those around.
So we have a few of them around because I haven't remodeled those rooms, and I refuse to do work in a room that's not the one that I'm working on. But every time I look at them, I'm like, these are hideous. I need to change this.
No, I like those up and down switches are perfectly fine. But obviously I bought those flat kind because those are the only kinds they sell. And it's like, which of these 3 colors, and they're all the same price, and they put them all next to each other. I'm like, guys, put the white ones over there, put the not white ones here, and then the other not white ones there, instead of the same one 3 in a row next to each other that I can barely tell the difference between. And especially the light in that aisle is like yellow, so then you're like, okay, now I'm not like real sure what color it is. Because it's also 8 o'clock at night, of course. You can't just fail like
so you're getting the sodium light.
Yeah. It can't just fail like in the middle of the day when I might be able to take it outside and figure it out. No.
We live a mile from a Home Depot. I hate to shout out the name, but it matters that it's a Home Depot. Because we could do an hour on why the store is organized the way the store is organized, and how sometimes I walk in and go, oh, that's why they did that. And then most of the time I walk in and go, why? Why am I looking all over creation for this thing that should be here?
Yeah. I'm sure the way it's organized is for people who are buying 800 of a thing for a business. They just come in and rake their arm across the shelf and dump all of it into their cart or something.
You would think that, but it's not, because those people just call and they're like, get me 800 Switches ready at the front.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Holmes. I'm sorry, man. Hey, but at least you turned the power off. I've gotten too lazy for that.
Well, it turned its own power off. I didn't have to do it. But yes, I wasn't going to attempt it with the power on. I was scared enough taking the box out until I realized that, this thing is actually extremely easily replaceable. Never mind.
Yeah, I've done it too many times. I get lazy. I should not.
No, that's dangerous.
Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. Especially my kids when you're listening to this 20 years from now and I've electrocuted myself to death. All right.
Died as he lived.
You know what else was electric?
Ooh, good segue.
Mm-hmm. That Nintendo Direct that we saw at E3. They weren't at E3. No. They did a direct near
Well,
and
apparently
around
they
E3.
were. Apparently they were actually on the show floor showing games, but
okay.
God knows,
Yes.
God knows who could ever see them because I'm sure the lines were around the block.
So, did you get this? I didn't understand this, but now E3 is split up, like, between regular people going, I guess, and journalism people going, or industry, I guess is the right word, on different days. Is this how this works now?
So the way I understood it from the coverage that I watched is that there were two types of badges. There's the industry or press type badges, and then they were calling them the gamers badge, but I guess anyway the colors were different, and one said gamer and the other one said something else.
Oh, so like influencers.
And then there's like this, or like I think it's just like people that bought tickets,
streamers,
like normal people that bought tickets versus people who have press credentials versus like exhibitors or whatever.
Okay.
And the way it sounded like is that there were hours of the day that are reserved for the press and industry people in the morning, and then it opens to everyone at some point during the day, starting on like the Monday or whatever through the 4 days that it was going on or whatever.
Nice.
So you would get some hours that are like press only, and that's when they take all those YouTube videos and stuff of people like, we're here at E3, look at this cool statue that I'm standing in front of in this open space and booth where there's no people.
I'd like to go to E3 as a We Were Gamers group, but can we just make a pact now that we're not going to do that?
The idea sounds interesting, but I think the way the con is executed, they're trying to be a con, right? And it's not a con.
It winds up being a line con.
It's a trade show.
And that's... Oh, it was a trade show, but it's not anymore now that it's open to the public, right?
Right.
So at that point, then, like, why would I go to this?
I guess.
The allure of it was that it had stuff you couldn't get anywhere else, but now it's going to turn into, like, PAX LA, except not run by the people that run PAX, so it's worse?
I don't know. I heard a rumor that the ESA was thinking about selling it to PAX.
And then it really would be PAX LA, but they'd probably still call it E3.
I would guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, who knows about any of that stuff? Because we watched a video about Nintendo stuff.
Oh, that video was so good. I almost thought about watching it twice just to see it again and enjoy it again.
I ended up watching parts of it multiple times for sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just to get it out of the way,
Just like
though,
a couple trailers.
Can we relegate that Contra game to the bottom of the list and never speak of it again?
What, you don't want to see top-down, not Contra, 3D Contra, PS1 looking thing?
Maybe if they hadn't tried to go for the throwback aesthetic and it just kind of looked messy, I could forgive it more, but I just don't think they pulled it off.
They put out that Contra collection. Those are games you could play.
Sure, the older Contras.
I think they really just went for it, and I think people are gonna like.
I think people are going to play it and remember that those old Contra games suck.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
There's also that. That is also a possibility.
That's where I was.
You know why that
there.
Konami code was a thing? Because that game was impossible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a frequent guest on this show that has beaten all the Contras that we need to have back, and maybe we can ask him about the Contra. But Zero Cool is a Contra aficionado.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Anyway, okay.
I don't know what order to do any of this.
Smash.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, it
Good.
started and it ended ish the Direct because it's their biggest game, probably by a large margin. People were excited to know who the next character was, and we got
The rumors had been flying. Literally any character you could name, probably someone said that it was coming to Smash at some point.
Yeah.
The Hero.
Okay, this is a dumb name for this character.
He doesn't have a name in Dragon Quest, so what are you going to call him?
Some of
Dragon
them do.
Quest?
Some of them do, though.
But the main guy
some of them have canonical names like Erdrick and other E-type names.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to play with all the like multiple characters in a party thing. It looks like maybe it's sort of like a Marvel switch out system which is interesting to me.
Or are they just all like echo fighters of each other?
I can't tell. They would in the thing. It looked like maybe they weren't Echo Fighters, but if they are, that's okay. I mean, there's already Echo Fighters in the game, right? Marth and Lucina, and
Yeah.
I don't know. That one just didn't get me that excited.
Because like a lot of them looked like they were all costumes of the way that hero looks in some of the various Dragon Quest games, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, this guy with the bandana, he's the hero of 8. The guy with the like long robe that they showed first, that's the hero of 11. This is the one from. So I assume that those are like costumes. Does Smash have costumes? Is that a thing?
Yeah, totally does. You can change the look of your character to different colors. For some of the main characters, is just like colors. But like Mario has his Dr. Mario outfit and his Wedding Mario outfit.
Okay, so I imagine some of those will be that, but then some of them look like characters I'd never seen before, in which case I don't know what those are and how they fit into that character.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I didn't know that much about the Dragon Quest guy, and it still doesn't get me that excited, but what does get me excited is, let's just say, Banjo.
That's a great choice.
Oh my god.
So are you only excited for the bear and the bird you're not interested in, or are they together one? Because you said Banjo, so you're not excited for Kazooie, right?
I mean, it's hyphenated. It's not Banjo and Kazooie.
This is what I'm trying to get at. Are they distinct entities? Is the bird's feet inside the bear somewhere? Like,
no, because he takes the bird off to use as a pellet gun.
Okay, so the bird's just chilling on his back.
Right.
In the backpack, yeah.
But it's like a symbiosis thing, or like professionals that have hyphenated names that drop one to make it easier for people.
He's like Brangelina.
Okay. So we have Banjo-Ooey. Or
it doesn't help, you're right. I guess leaving it with a hyphen is better.
Yeah.
Like
or
Kazojo.
Kazojo. No, this is exciting to me because it's Rare working with Nintendo again.
I mean, they've been owned by Nintendo all these years.
Rare is owned by Microsoft, buddy.
Okay. I think you're right.
Which means Microsoft and Nintendo are like buddy again. Maybe we could get GoldenEye on the Switch.
I suspect Microsoft and Nintendo aren't the ones that are holding that deal up.
Who do you think's holding up GoldenEye on the Switch?
The people that own the Bond license and the people who own the movie licenses.
All right, fine. Then we could get Perfect Dark on the Switch.
That actually seems likely.
I'm in for that. And maybe the Banjo collection. That'd be sweet. Game Pass. Possibilities are endless just because Banjo's coming to Smash. Nobody's excited. You guys need to be more excited.
I don't care about Banjo-Kazooie.
You also probably don't care that much about Smash.
Also that.
Oh. Well, they added a bunch of spirits to the game after the E3 event for the new Link's Awakening game, which we got to look at. Which maybe you're more excited about?
I'm excited about this. Let's talk about this.
This is going to be a great game.
That game
added spirits
looks
to Smash.
Sweet.
So I realized in thinking about this, and I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience. Do you ever look back at a game that you used to play and realize that you've forgotten it? Like you used to know the story, you used to know exactly where to go and what to do, and you think about it after a while and none of it is there anymore. Because that's what happened to me with this. Like I could tell you that I remember that it is worth your time at the beginning of the game to cut down bushes for rupees to buy the shovel early, but I can't tell you why. It's just a thing I remember.
I think I definitely never played this game growing up until like way later, and then it was someone else's Game Boy, so I never finished it. And
right.
I just remember nothing about it. Just being like, oh man, it's like Zelda. You know, I remember playing like Zelda 1 on the NES or something, and it's like, oh, this is like that, but it's like weird and different, and there's like way more talking. And I'm bad at this, and then, you know, I was done with the Game Boy.
I think when did Link's Awakening come out?
God knows. 92, 3?
Probably thereabouts.
91?
Link's Awakening came out. Oh, I shouldn't have done it, but I did it. 93.
Okay, 93.
So 93 is like, and then DX came out much later, right? Like,
So it came out on the
98.
original Game Boy, and then they re-released it for the Game Boy Color.
yeah, that's
Right.
DX.
Right.
And then, yeah, that's the one with the color.
Okay, so I would have caught a whiff of this probably more in the 98 DX era. And by then, I think I would have been taken up with longer PlayStation RPGs. So I actually kind of missed this completely when it came out.
Yeah, because by 98, Final Fantasy VII is out, and you're at that point probably looking at first screens from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, this game I never really have played much of, and this, I don't know how to describe this aesthetic they have going on with this game, but it's like
Toy box?
almost like tilt shift. Is that the right term
Definitely,
for
yeah.
that?
There's definitely
A
some
little bit,
tilt
yeah.
shift with everything being out of focus.
And like everything looks like cute little plastic toys moving around in like a little plastic world.
Yeah, miniaturization is one of those things that you get tilt shift look. Like if people take tilt shift of cars moving on a street below, it makes it look like it's a bunch of toys. The plasticky look is another part of it too, right? Like Link's eyes are just dark circles.
Yeah, it makes it look like little toys because it's just like, oh, they painted black dots on the plastic to make his face, you know?
I am really into the aesthetic. I love it.
Yeah, it looks cool. When I first saw the first screen of it, I'm like, oh, they're definitely going for something, and I didn't get what it was. And I watched this one again, and on the second viewing, you're like, you see so many little details and everything. You're like, that tree has like leaves that look like they're plastic leaves, from like a toy tree, and so cool, so cool.
You should watch one of the gameplay demo videos that went up. It just reinforces that feeling.
Oh, I didn't know the gameplay demos was out there.
Yeah, I watched. Did I watch the Kotaku one? A bunch of different outfits put up
First 10
gameplay
minutes.
demos of varying lengths.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sweet. I will go look at that later. That sounds awesome.
I'm way into this. I'm excited. I already pre-ordered the big edition and the amiibo for it.
This actually
in.
probably will make a very cool amiibo if it ever comes out.
Oh yeah, they have never missed on the amiibo. The problem with the amiibo is not making enough of them.
Which seems like something that they finally got a good handle on.
Definitely. And most of the ones that were short have been reissued. So I have no fears on that front. It looks wonderful. And it's out soon-ish. So
End of this year or
clear
something?
September. So clear schedule
Yeah,
after
holiday.
summer, I guess.
Will I even have finished playing Mario Maker by then?
You'll never finish playing Mario Maker.
I know. That's the problem.
Speaking of which, they had the Mario Maker tournament event. How did that go? I didn't watch it.
I only watched like a few parts of their runs and stuff. I think I remarked to Michael at one point that it was clear that the people doing this did not know how to play Super Mario 3D World.
Now,
Yeah,
3D World is 2D but 3D, or is it actually deep and 3D?
it is 2D, at least from what they showed.
Okay.
The levels
but-
move side to side. You can go left or right, but you can go side to side. You can't go front and back. But there are elements of the background that you can force to come into the foreground
Right.
Okay.
via
So
like
you can have bullet bills firing into and out of the background.
or you can make, I think, the like clear pipes that you fly through in that game, you can make them go into the background and loop around and come back forward and stuff like that. You can't
Nice.
end in the background, but you can make it fancy designs.
All right. That's still coming.
Yeah, that looks super cool. I think it was when they announced that they're like literally adding new chiptune tracks to the old Mario games for like night levels and stuff. I was like, all right, well, now it's impossible not to get this.
Right. Yeah. I don't see how you can avoid it. I mean, especially if you've got that Twitch free year of Nintendo Online that just comes with this, and then you can buy a discounted Nintendo Online with it if you want. You got like 2 years to play Mario Maker for nothing, basically.
Yeah.
If you got a Switch, it's going to be one of those everyone has it for their system games, like a Duck Hunt.
It feels like that, or it should be, right? Like this should be the game for Nintendo at this point.
Yeah.
Like I will actually be annoyed with them if they release a Mario Maker 3 down the line, right?
Yeah, not for this system, especially. And they're going to fix your biggest qualm with the game, buddy.
Which is?
They announced that they will, after launch, be patching in playing online with your friends.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why did that have to be a thing they're patching? Couldn't they just have thought of the most obvious and desired use case to start with?
I wonder, this game was made in Japan. I don't want to speak out of turn with not knowing a lot of things. I mean, I love Japan. I know some things about Japan, but I don't know the culture of Japan. We might need to like get in touch with somebody that does better, but maybe this just is a cultural thing where they're still using friend codes for a reason, you know, and this game was developed there. So maybe it's not a use case for them.
Okay, but other companies that make games that are online, that are based in Japan, like Sony and Square Enix, don't have these problems.
Okay. It's a cultural problem in Nintendo only then.
There's like one guy in Nintendo who's in charge of like all the network stuff, and he's like,
"Hey man,
everyone loves friend codes. Yeah,
you know
I got this."
It came out over this weekend of E3 that there was one guy at Epic that basically tried to cancel Fortnite and almost got there. So
yeah,
things can be made bad decisions by one person.
Totally. You see that announcement, right? They announced multiplayer Mario. You're like, oh my god, I can play Mario with all my friends.
Yeah.
And this game has online
multiplayer levels.
I can play online with people. Well, obviously, if I can play with my friends, I can play online with my friends, right? It's like ABC, the easiest connection I can make, you know?
Yeah,
like if they
missed that last dot.
If they did one focus group in the West, someone would have pointed this out, and then they would have been like, oh.
I can't wait to use our cell phone apps to talk via voice over our Switches.
Yeah, we're going to be using Discord or something for that. That is not going to be what that is.
Do you think it was the same person who made both of these decisions?
Yeah, maybe.
Likely, yes. Everything online is probably follows a chain. So,
I don't want to sound like I'm too down about that. I am very excited they're doing that. I just wish it would be there for launch, but we'll have to wait, a few months or whatever.
You know what? We're going to have to wait that long anyway to get co-op levels that are actually beatable or ranked that we want to play.
Yeah, that aren't like hot trash anyway. So
or Kaizo.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of those too.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Surprise of the Nintendo thing for me was the Dark Crystal Tactics game.
Talk about left field.
Yeah, seriously, that's a deep, deep pull.
Well, Netflix is doing a new show.
Right.
Okay, so at the time, I didn't have that context, and I was like, "Why are we talking about this?" And then someone later mentioned to me, like, hey, by the way, Netflix is doing the show, and they're doing this because of that. I was like, oh.
Well, that trailer opens up with 30 seconds of the puppet, and I thought, oh, cool, it's an announcement of Netflix on the Switch.
That would be great.
But no.
I was like, man, someone went really far to pull these puppets out and to do it in the, like, filtered light style that was back in the 80s, And it was like, man, why would they do this? And it's like, then after hearing they were actually making a show, it made way more sense.
Well, I totally thought it was going to be one of those like free-to-play, almost free-to-play style, like kids game-y thing. And then it's like, nope, tactics. Wait, what?
Did they hook you at tactics?
They had Dark Crystal Tactics? Yes, please. Although,
very cool.
Be careful, what time of day you play it and how much you've been drinking if it's anything like the old Dark Crystal.
Okay.
Oh boy! All right. Surprise for you guys? Anything jump out?
I know one that definitely surprised me was they announced that they're bringing out. They're calling it Trials of Mana, which is the Seiken Densetsu 3 which is the Secret of Mana game that never came out here in the U.S.
Oh, that's
which
coming
is
out in
a travesty because it's such a good game.
It's such a good game. I played a fan translation of it like on the Super NES while I was in college or something, and it was awesome.
I know nothing about this game, and also it's coming out in some sort of collection too, right?
So there's multiple ways. Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead, Michael.
There are the version that is a standalone, Trials of Mana, is not the same as the version that will be in the collection.
Whoa. Okay.
So
hold on, back up. So this is an SNES game?
Yes.
Okay,
It is
and
an
I missed
SNES game.
I missed it, even though I love the Mana series on the SNES.
It never came out in the U.S.
Because
or in English-speaking countries. I think it was Japanese only.
Japanese only.
Okay, and so this is the third one, but there's two versions of it?
Yes. So the version that is in the collection is the original game with an English translation. And then
which has never existed before.
Yes, not an official version. There have been fan translations, but never unofficially sanctioned SD3. And then the Trials of Mana is the totally remastered version.
Are all the games?
It is a remake of that game.
Yes,
right?
a remake, I should say, not a remaster.
So it's like 3D and, all that stuff.
So are the other two games in that 3-game collection getting remastered like that? So you shouldn't buy the collection, you should buy remasters, or is it only the third one that's getting remastered?
Only the remake is only Trials of Mana. It's being released as a standalone game, as a remake, 3D. Following like Final Fantasy VII Remake, this is Trials of Mana Remake, but it's not called that.
Is that kind of out of left field then?
Yes, I mean to me.
I think
but the collection is the 3 Secret of Mana, Trials of Mana, and whatever the other one. What are the 3 Mana games?
So the first one is funny because it was released in the US for Game Boy as Final Fantasy Adventure.
That's right. That's why it's weird, because I can never remember. It's Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and now Trials of Mana.
Isn't it also Children of Mana somewhere in there?
Children of Mana was a DS game.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy Adventure, I think, is a Game Boy game, right?
Yes.
Huh. So it is the 3 original Seiken Densetsu games but now they have their English names.
Yay.
Yeah. So you get Secret of Mana, the one and remember from the Super NES. You get Trials of Mana now, a brand new game, which is only available via fan translation before, and then Final Fantasy Adventure, which was Seiken Densetsu 1 from the Game Boy. Very cool that they're bringing that out. That was stuff that was like, those were games that everyone, like Mother 3, are games that people had just given up on ever coming out in the West.
Yep.
And
people are getting Mother 3 too, right?
Are they?
I think so. No, they started with the...
I think they released Mother 1.
Yeah, they did. They're doing Mother 1 right now. Yeah,
so we'll see if they get to Mother 3, the one that they never released. Over here, but those games were beloved, and especially SD3, because it was known that in Japan the game was amazing, and it was the Super NES. But by that time, the PlayStation 1 had come out. The Super NES was kind of, like Chrono Trigger. It was like one of those last kind of Super NES games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's one that people point to as one of the pinnacles of the art form, of using the system for squeezing every last drop of performance out of it.
It's definitely a hallmark of Square and Nintendo, when the last year-ish of a system hits, that they both together somehow push the limits of that thing beyond where anybody thought they could have. I don't know how that's possible every single time, but they do.
Yeah, they take all the time the system is out, and they really master it, and then they put out 2 incredible games, near the end.
Yeah.
So that to me was something that I had no expectation for and no idea was even coming, and then it's like, dang, awesome old school games that you didn't know were even coming out, and then they're remaking one of them, which is cool and probably, hopefully, is good. I don't know. We'll see. I guess. You didn't see a lot of that remake yet.
Michael, you have a surprise?
I mean, I think the one for me was the big one for everybody, the reveal at the end about a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, we're jumping there already. Okay.
Yeah.
I had an existential moment here when they announced that sequel. But go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when I saw it, I immediately thought it was like, it hasn't been that long, right? The game came out not that long ago. How is it time for one of these already?
2 years.
Yeah, I think my first thought was it was a DLC announcement.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that was what everyone... I looked at that and thought, oh, cool, there's going to be DLC for when I finally play that game.
Yep.
And then they said a sequel, and there is a lot of cool breakdowns already. People have already gone through the Hyrulean text and said that it says... here, jump ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. But it says that it's a seal Ganon, so like the corpse is Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that plays into the original game because I haven't played it yet. And that's when I had my existential crisis moment. We divert here for a second, but I've been playing a lot of Pokemon inventory management, also known as Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
And while that game is fun and free to play, but also like not super free to play, I don't feel like I have to put money into it. It's starting to get to the point where like, oh, I have to like think about how to level and do the right things and manage 400 item inventory, and I'll just do this a little bit on the side, and I'll play some of the Picross game we've all been playing and still addicted to.
Yeah,
I know. Oh man, I finally got to like 27% today.
Oh, you passed me. I'm at the, like in 26. What do you got, Michael?
49.8.
Oh my god. I'm never flying on a plane that you've worked on. But like it hit me like I've been avoiding playing a quote unquote real game since I got to the end of Smash's 70-hour adventure mode, you know? I haven't gone back to play Rabbids. I played some Tetris. I feel like my brain has been in a holding pattern, and this trailer came out, and I finally realized I've been putting off taking on a game like Breath of the Wild because I want to play it, but I'm afraid to get into it because of the time commitment that I know is going to go into an open world game like that.
You should play Breath of the Wild, though.
I know. And now there's the sequel, so maybe that's the kick in the pants. To like,
it's going to drive you to play it because you're going to want to play the next one.
Right, exactly. Not sit there thinking about my Pokemon inventory anymore.
I mean, you could do what I did and play a game that you've played like 20 times before that was also a 100-hour RPG and like start playing Baldur's Gate 2 again.
Well, do you see? That's a kick in the pants thing because you just heard about Baldur's Gate 3.
But I've played Baldur's Gate 2 like 70 times.
True.
It's a little lower barrier to entry when I've already done it, you know. But
yeah.
I think it's really cool. I am afraid they're going to do a Majora's Mask and make like a crazy, weird, off the wall sequel that is then like liked by some people, and most people are like, "What the heck is this game?"
Did you think that castle was going up or down?
I don't know. Both.
I just hope it's going up and we get Link in space.
Okay. I'm for that.
I don't know. I feel like people would be annoyed from what I've heard if the game wasn't maybe not a direct sequel, but like didn't involve the characters from the first game sticking together and doing something related. You know, like it sounds like people formed such a huge bond to that first game that I would, if they did a Majora's Mask, I think people would be pretty upset. You know, like if they found a way to use the engine again but not use the characters.
I mean, I think the thing that a lot of people are worried about is so much of that game is about exploring. If they use the same map again, but they change up all the encounters and all the locations, like how much exploring are you doing at that point? You're like, oh, I know there's a town here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the complaint that I heard most. I also have not played Breath of the Wild, so I also don't have that strong of an opinion here, but I don't know.
You know what my other fear
looks cool. I don't know. I'm for it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely in. My other fear about playing Breath of the Wild is I just realized it right now. I have never plugged my Switch into a TV.
Oh, that's right.
I don't even have the dock hooked up with an HDMI cable to anything. It's just out on the countertop so I can charge the Switch.
See, you could solve that problem by never undocking it and only playing it docked.
Have we literally been complete opposites this whole time that we've owned Switches?
Yes, you guys have.
Yes. I have never played it undocked. I've only played it docked on the TV. Not to say it has never been played undocked, but I have never played it undocked.
I'm afraid I can't play Breath of the Wild undocked.
Why? It runs perfectly fine undocked, supposedly.
I know, but the world looks massive. It looks like you want to play it on a massive screen so you can see tons of stuff. We need to get somebody on this podcast that has played it. I need to find out more.
The screen is smaller. You can make the picture smaller so you see the same amount.
He can't hear me on Discord if I'm just shouting.
And he's offline.
Oh.
That's the bigger problem.
That's a bigger, yeah. I didn't happen to look at all right. Okay. I know none of us have played it, so we don't have a ton to say, but I think you're right. That was a huge surprise to everybody.
Totally.
I'm going to bookend it. I'm going to cheat and go twice. Did anybody play Panzer Dragoon?
I didn't. I've heard a lot about it over the years, but from what I saw of it, it made me kind of regret that I had never really looked up the original. I
watched the direct and I was like, cool. In my head for a lot of it. Even for the Zelda reveal, I was kind of like, oh, right on, in my head. And in the middle of a car ride, while I was a passenger, okay, understand people, I was a passenger, not a driver, while I was watching this part of it, the Panzer Dragoon footage came on, and I said out loud before I figured it out was, is that Panzer Dragoon?
I think, Andy, you were of the three of us, you were the Sega player.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I had multiple Sega systems. Yeah, I cannot believe a 95 game just came out of nowhere to be re-released on a Switch.
It's wild.
It's insane. It's a Sega Saturn game.
And actually, that's great because not that many people had Sega Saturns, and there aren't that many Sega Saturns out there.
I think the Sega Saturn had better games than the Dreamcast. I'm just going to say that out loud. I don't know if it's true, but I think it might be true.
I think there were more games, but better?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Crazy Taxi's all right.
Crazy Taxi's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. I don't know. It might have directly led to the decline of Sega, but who can say?
Yeah. I think that it is cool when they take games that were available on weird systems and re-put them out for people who want to play them. Like, what was that? There was another game that came out, I think on Switch not that long ago. It's on the eShop. You're like Power Ranger type people.
What?
Gunstar Heroes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's
Gunstar
out on
Heroes
the
is
eShop.
a great Sega game.
That's out on the eShop now, I think, and or coming soon, I guess, if it's not. And that was a game that was like, the Saturn version's the one you want because it's the best one. It has a bunch of extra stuff, and that's the version that they put out. And everyone was like, oh, hey, people can actually play this version now without having to pay $700 a disc to find the one copy of Gunstar Heroes that isn't in a museum or what.
Well, the cool part about Gunstar Heroes is if you've ever thought about playing Vector Man or Shinobi and you don't want to just be punished the entire time, you could go play Gunstar Heroes and enjoy yourself.
Yes, a good game.
You're like, those Gunstar, those other games look really good, but I just, every time I walk forward in Vector Man, I get shot. It's like, yeah, actually, because anytime you walk in Vector Man, you get shot. Like,
yep.
If you stop moving, they don't shoot you. Like, that makes the game really hard. Gunstar Heroes is a great game. You should, oh man, I might go grab that on the eShop right now.
Just play Gunstar Heroes. It's a good game.
Hold on, is that part of the? That might be part of my. I am the target audience for Sega games because I have that that Steam Sega collection or whatever.
Oh yeah, it could be already out.
It might already be in my Sega collection on Steam. I have to stop. I have to stop buying things for my Switch that I already own on Steam. Oh, right on. There was other big news in there that we didn't really talk about. Like, JJ, are you going to be rebuying the Switcher?
No, but it is very cool that someone will be able to play that game in like 540p or whatever the screen will be.
Another game I worry that I can't play undocked.
You could probably play it just fine. It's going to be visually compromised compared with the version that you play on the PC. But you know what? Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
The point of those games isn't. I mean, the point of the games is they look great, but also the point is that the story and the world you explore and like the lore and the stuff that you get out of that is going to be really cool. Hopefully they increase the font size though, because there's a lot of like letters that open up that are like real small and have a lot of text.
I'm going to end up on a tangent if we talk about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So if you're ready for me to do that, I'm going to go. But if you want to talk about another game first.
Well, I liked one small thing. I did like that we got a whole lot more of Cadence of Hyrule, plus the game dropping.
Yeah, the game's out now.
Yeah, Cadence of Hyrule has been out for, a week at this point.
4 days.
Is it? I thought it came out on
13th.
Wednesday of E3. Okay. Well, anyway, it's been out. People have played it, and by all accounts, it's a very good Crypt of the Necrodancer game.
If you want to find out if you like Crypt of the Necrodancer, I believe the sale from E3 is still going, and the actual Crypt of the Necrodancer is $3. So if
that
you don't
sounds real good.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to drop for Cadence of Hyrule yet, I used the E3 sale to get Hollow Knight, by the way.
Sweet.
For the Switch.
Very nice.
Despite my... there's like 100 episodes of this show where JJ and I have said, you should just buy things on sale on Steam because the PC is forever.
True.
Hollow Knight being on Steam on the PC, I seem to have broken my own rule, but per everyone's, not maybe suggestion, but their inclination to say the game is long and also would benefit from being able to be taken with you, then I dropped for the Switch one because I'm in love with my Switch still. So
yeah, by all accounts, the Switch version of that game is very good, and
just the
I think
resolution
the game is now complete. They have said that they're moving everything that was going to be DLC for this to the new game, Silk Song. So you're good. The game is complete.
There was no DLC to buy. The game is auto-updated with new patches and no DLC for the Switch version.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Cadence of Hyrule looks good. I will wait for a sale, but ultimately play it.
I guess the only difference between this and Necrodancer is that this game isn't a roguelike, right?
I don't believe so.
No, I think
Yeah,
they changed it to be
procedural.
dungeon crawling like Zelda.
Yeah, so it is a Zelda-like, but in the style of Crypt of the Necrodancer. So if you buy Crypt of the Necrodancer for $3, know that that game is actually a roguelike, not a Zelda game. Which is fine.
Sure.
Still
okay,
good.
Marvel had some games there, most of which were not well received. Initially, I think after the convention, a lot of people started to come around on maybe those Avengers games that didn't sound so hot.
Which one? Do you mean Marvel's Avengers?
There's Marvel's Avengers, and then there's Captain America and the Avengers or something. Aren't there two other Marvel games? One by Square and one by somebody else.
The only
missed
one
it if there was another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the Square one, and then there's
Maybe
this one.
maybe I was taken by some people not using the proper titles or something. Yeah, but it sounds like once people played it, it was kind of like, I don't really know what this game is yet, but maybe it's better than we think. I don't know.
I think the thing that everyone is annoyed with is that Marvel's Avengers, they showed a bunch of stuff, but that didn't actually tell you what you do in the game.
Yeah.
Or who you are or how you play it. They talked a lot about like playing with your friends and a lot about like DLC and more worlds and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, can I have 15 people be Tony Stark? What's going on here?
Right. Is it City of Heroes or is it Ultimate Alliance?
And then they didn't answer that question at all and just were like, and walked away. Whereas Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 knows exactly what it is, and it is about you mashing the A button to murder some dudes.
Yep. Welcome to Diablo Marvel.
Yes.
I was very happy that they reminded people it existed and then had that little treehouse logo. And I watched the 30-ish minute treehouse of this game, wherein you start off in Professor Xavier, in their example, their demo or whatever, you start off in Professor Xavier's Xavier Institute.
But what? That's an X-Men. Is an X-Men in the Marvel?
Yeah, well, we'll get there in a minute. I have some questions regarding that. But it sure looks like Ultimate Alliance from Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. You kind of switch between characters. That character screen looks very large, and they didn't fill in very much of it. There was a hint that maybe Deadpool's in the game also, but he was in a kitchen making tacos at the time.
Deadpool was in MUA 1 and 2, so...
Yes. The game looks good. The graphics look good. It does look like a button masher. It looks like maybe there's some...
were also, so you can't really be that surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
No, I'm just saying that, like, look, if you want to know if those games are good, those games are out on PC and Xbox 360 and probably Xbox One. Go play them. They're great games. Jam on A and hit the superpowers button to throw Wolverine, and then hit the other button to shoot a giant laser blast and have a good time. They're great. And they have cool. Like characters that I still don't know who the heck they are. What is a Moon Knight?
The C-listers.
Who is a Moon Knight?
What is?
Why
Sable?
is he here? What is he doing? He has a cape and flies. I guess that's all I know.
Yeah. I have a question though. I watched a lot of that demo, and in that demo they were using Beast and Cyclops and a whole bunch of people. And then in the Direct and in the Treehouse at the very end of both of those segments, they say, buy the expansion pass today. Well, the game's not out, so I don't know why I would buy an expansion pass for it. The expansion packs will feature 3 different DLCs for Marvel Knights, X-Men, and Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean all the X-Men are not in the game, which they showed?
Or does that mean they wouldn't do that?
Extra
I feel
X-Men.
like they're going to have, extra X-Men.
They're going to have a bunch of characters that are DLC, and there will be one character, I guarantee you, one character in the X-Men that everyone knows and likes that will not be in the base game and will be in that DLC.
So like Gambit.
Or like Magneto.
No, Magneto's in the game.
They showed him in the game, but he could be the DLC.
Well, the story is about Magneto, so...
Oh, is it? Okay, all right. But it's going to be something like that. It's going to be like, oh, you get your Gambit or your Rogue or your Jean Grey or something like that. One of these people that everyone knows is going to be over there.
Uh-huh.
Probably not Wolverine, even though that would be shrewd of them to do that. And then the Fantastic Four will be the same thing. You could get some of them, but then like, oh, do you want to play as Doctor Doom? He's over there. Or, I don't know who Marvel Knights are, but
Marvel Knights would be like the Daredevils and Punishers of the world.
Okay. So, you'll be like, you'll get like, oh, you get Punisher, but do you want to play as Daredevil? Buy the DLC. And then there's, a level or something that comes with them.
I see.
I actually have no idea what is in that pass, but I believe that's how the DLC worked for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 when it was on the 360. There was like a few characters that were DLC for like $5 or something at that time. It's probably going to be more now.
Could they have jacked this game up by $5 and put all those 3 things in the game and actually sold more copies?
No.
That answer was shorter than I expected.
Because they want to sell you this game at a lower price to get as many people to buy it and then get a bunch of people to pay $25 for the expansion pass. Did I get the price right on the expansion pass?
Good question. Let's see.
I'm guessing it's $25.
Well, the game comes out next month, which is surprising considering almost everything else at the Direct was like at the end of fall. Here, let's see. Nintendo's website. $19.99 for the expansion pass.
Oh, okay.
DLC 1 fall 19, DLC 2 Christmas 19, DLC 3 2020.
Okay, so that means there's 3 expansions and you're getting them from $20. They're probably going to be like 10 each or something.
You can buy the digital version of the game for $80. That includes all of it. If you don't want to buy the physical and then update it.
So
later.
you are paying the same price.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 60. No, because
60.
$59.99 plus 20. Yeah, right, same price.
So, okay. I mean, they do this with games now. It doesn't surprise me. I think the thing you should do, and I know this won't work for you, Andrew, because you are too excited for this game, but people should not buy this game at release and wait till they release the Ultimate Alliance Edition or whatever. That then includes all the DLC.
All right,
I can't. Game of the Year edition.
I have to admit something right now. I got a great deal on Mario and Rabbids on Black Friday. I mean, I'm not upset about it. I think I paid $25 for Mario and Rabbids for the physical media of it.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, I am not upset about it. During the E3 sale, Mario and Rabbids was part of a Ubisoft sale on the Nintendo Switch. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe the DLC's on sale. Nope, DLC's still $20. That's a bummer. Wait a minute. This sale tab shows Mario and Rabbids. Oh, the normal game's down to like $16. Wow, that's a pretty good deal for... There's a gold version with all the DLC for $20 digitally.
You caved.
No, I did not. Not yet.
Okay.
Similarly, I
did
bought
not
a copy
because I don't know if my save would transfer over.
It would not.
That's fair.
Almost certainly, it will not.
And I don't know if I want to reward that kind of behavior. I would still love to own the physical disc, right? Because then I can turn around and be like, I'm done with that. I don't want to play it anymore. Someone can have it, and I've paid a rental fee of X dollars.
Yeah, I think that's a good reason to buy physical media, especially with Nintendo consoles.
Oh, especially with Nintendo consoles, right?
Because that digital copy, if your Switch breaks, the chances of you being able to get that digital copy back are questionable.
Which is why I had my reservations about Hollow Knight. But it seemed like too good. Like $7 is not going to break the bank on or the deal. But yeah. They're really, Nintendo, especially on they're getting their partners to really put stuff deep discount on their digital console, and it's got me afraid that we are seeing if Nintendo is the last vestige, really. I mean, PlayStation and Xbox are definitely moving to online-only versions of games, right? Like Nintendo, their Xbox just released that streaming-only or one, right, where it doesn't even have a disc drive.
That's out there. It's for digital only downloads or whatever. But they're definitely still selling physical games. I mean, PlayStation actually just put out a bunch of their big hits from the last year on sale during E3. Again, for $20 for God of War and the dinosaur one, and Horizon Zero Dawn, and like some of the other ones past year that were really big sellers. They had all of those games for $20.
Right.
So so I caved and I bought a physical copy of God of War for PS4. But I haven't played it because who has time to play games?
Not us. We're sitting here talking about E3 a week later.
Yeah, we're just talking here. But I got a physical copy of that game because the physical disc was on sale for $20. Digitally, it was on sale for like almost the same price, but now I have the disc, so I can sell it to someone else for $10 later and have only paid $10 in a year and a half when I started.
It's gonna make me cringe now buying the physical discs and then seeing the stuff on sale with the DLC for less than it's just it's painful.
I've got by this on the PC too. Like I bought Dark Souls 3 when it came out, and they released a bunch of DLC, and I don't have any of that DLC because they don't ever put the expansion pass on sale for less than 25% off.
They want you to rebuy the whole gold edition of the game. So
at which point you can buy the gold edition. It's gotten very close to the price of the gold edition being less than the price of the DLC.
Why do they do that? I don't understand the math of that. Like, you would make a $4, $5 sale if you put that DLC down versus me not just like, nah, I'm just not going to buy more game. I'm not going to spend $20 more to rebuy this whole thing.
Well, I haven't done it, so, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm not rewarding that business practice.
Yeah. All right. God, we really only had time for Nintendo, didn't we?
We kind of knew it might happen.
We didn't even get to, like, Luigi's Mansion. I've never been a big fan of that.
Luigi.
The grossest thing I saw this year at Nintendo.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
He poops out a green blob of himself. That's no good.
We've all been there.
Have we? Have we?
You've been to college.
Ugh.
You've done Jello shots. Fire Emblem Three Houses. We didn't talk about that. That looks like a completely different game than what they were selling last year. Or beginning of this year, I guess, when they announced it. Well, at least it doesn't look like you're going to play a high school simulator anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, at least that worry is gone.
I don't know. With my 3DS experience recently, I'm not sure that I'm in, but people are excited.
I got kind of burnt out on Fire Emblem on the 3DS after Fates. I played a lot of Fates and then was like, man, I need a break. And I'm continuing that break.
Well, and it's up against Dark Crystal Tactics. I know where my mind's going.
Exactly.
I know it's not going to Animal Crossing New Horizons either.
I feel like Animal Crossing is super popular.
It is. Just we are the wrong people for that game.
Not for me. I was never that person.
I was with a game. Oh man, this is a real throwback. I know we don't do research, but you should look this up maybe after the podcast. There's a game called Kingdom for Kieflings on the Xbox, and like I think it came out the first year I went to work, and I was working like 12-hour days. And when I got back, all I wanted to do was just completely zone out. So either I would turn on Sci-Fi Channel and literally watch whatever was on and not care. It was usually something like Destination Truth, you know?
Sliders reruns, yeah. Or I would turn on this Xbox game, a game on my Xbox 360 called Kingdom for Kieflings. There's been a sequel that I haven't played that's actually available for PC that I'm thinking about. And it was just like, take your giant, go over there, whack a tree for some wood, go make a sawmill. Oh, look, you made a sawmill. Now you get a little Kiefling for your kingdom. He'll work your sawmill. Make him a house, you know? And that is like got a super Animal Crossing vibe to it. And then I played that for like way too many hours. And I tried Animal Crossing New Leaf because people said it was like the game you had to have for your 3DS. And just, no. Too much Nintendo in their Nintendo.
Animal Crossing to me always seemed like one of those games that was, you need to play this game for like an hour every day. And then
definitely.
That's it. It's like, play this for an hour, do all your chores, you know, clean up your house and set up your neighborhood and run one little errand for Mr. Rossetti, or, you know, pay the evil raccoon banker back his blood money or whatever, and then like be like, I'll come back tomorrow, and then turn it off.
You have to do it at different times because certain things happen in day and night.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, I mean, it might be good, but it's not good for me.
Well, anyway, it's apparently a very popular game. I just never got into any of them, and I just can't start now.
All right. We got to wrap out E3 so we don't talk about it next week. We got to figure out a way to be done with it. What would be your one takeaway from E3? Or like, I'm definitely buying this. Or like, wow, this company is really set up for a year. I don't know. What is your thing?
I liked the turnaround that Square Enix made from last year to this year, because if you remember, their press conference from last year just sort of fell totally flat.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if they learned the lesson themselves or if they actually listened to the fan response, but they came right out of the gate with the Final Fantasy VII remake this year, and had a much better press conference.
Having games that are releasing soon helps.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah.
Having a lot of games, yeah.
I think the Final Fantasy VII remake for sure was one for me. Nintendo had so much great stuff, but I mean, I said it up front before, man. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 is literally an announcement that is pointed directly at me. And so I saw that and I'm like, well, whenever that's coming out, guess that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 400 hours or whatever.
Yeah. I know that I'm stupidly excited about all the Nintendo games that got announced. Some not even first party, like Ultimate Alliance or Panzer Dragoon. I know I can get Panzer Dragoon on the PC. Don't email me. That's a game that was made for a console, and it honestly on a Switch, it's going to be amazing. Dark Crystal Tact, all the playing more Smash, all that stuff gets me like super excited for owning a Switch this coming year, and I think they're going to have a big year. But I think the massive news out of E3 is Microsoft's Game Pass service and what they're planning to do and how many people they have signed up, and like it's going to change the face of gaming in terms of cost and the way that things are produced. It's going to be massive, I think. Because it's not an OnLive or whatever where they're saying, we're going to change the industry. You're going to stream your games. It's not a Stadia where, Microsoft is a company. They're a huge company, and they're throwing all their weight around, and in a way that seems very consumer friendly.
All right, we don't have a lot of time on this, but I just have to know, like, you're renting games.
Sure.
That's what the Game Pass is.
I understand.
Okay. I feel like we talked about this before. I feel like every time I hear people talk about it, I'm like, but Blockbuster went out of business. And then people are like, well, but this is different. And I'm like, how is it different?
Well, my problem with Blockbuster, I think, was always the fact that, one of my problems was always the fact that, at least with earlier systems, you had to start over.
Yeah, so like
right? You'd rent something and someone would have cleared whatever data was on it, and so you'd have to start over. And so you'd always play the same portions of games over and over and over again rather than playing a full game.
Yeah, so like if they save if I subscribe to Game Pass for 1 month to play Halo 5 or whatever, Halo 4, whichever one it is that comes out first, and then I'd be like, all right, I played my Halo 4 campaign, I'm good, unsubscribe. And then I come back 6 months later and be like, I want to play Halo 4 again, and like I can pick up my save. That would be pretty sweet.
That's the thing for me that I'm thinking about is I believe that I did get value out of some of my Blockbuster rentals, but later on in the cycle of gaming, it became like, well, I bought my Halo and I'm going to play my Halo, and I'm going to, like it didn't matter about renting it because every night for like a year I got on and I played Halo 3. That was it. You just like get on and you play your Halo, and you didn't need to rent a game. And a long game like an RPG, like we are not the audience for renting games, right? The people that rented games were the people that were playing like Jet Set Moto or like Forza or all the like go rent a new racing game this week, go rent this week, and Final Fantasy was not a game you went and rented. And games just weren't that expensive overall back then. I don't think they were like break the bank expensive, whereas now you're like, how many $60 games can I buy in a year? Not that many. And like you said, things have gotten to the point that I'm not going to play Halo 3 every single night. Yeah, I'm still going to go out and buy games like BattleTech where I'm going to play 100 hours, but also I just want to play that Halo campaign, and there's 6 of those games, and it'll take me 2 months, and I'll have paid $20 instead of $25 a pop.
Yeah. Also, I mean, like, you can tell things are bad because there's a giant BattleTech DLC that released and none of us have played it.
What do you mean bad?
I mean, it's like, there's so much, man.
Oh, I mean, yeah, things are too busy.
Saturation.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about in that field. I think we're going to do a Michael Plays moment with BattleTech.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we should stream it.
Give me a reason to finally fire it up.
Something. We'll do something with BattleTech because I want to go stomp around through some buildings and blow them up. They're all destructible.
So cool.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot on our plate. If you didn't hear it last week on Friday, we had the first Discovery Pod released.
Yes.
Star Trek.
Also cool.
Yeah. If you have comments on that or on E3, you don't think Microsoft's that big a deal? Fine. I can take it. You can email us.
That is podcast@weweregamers.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube and get notified when we post new videos. All these pods end up on there for your easy listening capability. You can also subscribe to us on Google and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find your podcast subscription, let us know. Leave a review. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media, We Were Gamers. Check us out.
Maybe it won't be that big a thing. Maybe it'll be too many people like us that are like, subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe, unsubscribe. Because I don't have money to throw around for a subscription for them for a year. It's too much money.
Yeah, same. I think I'm going to subscribe and play the Halo campaigns and then unsubscribe.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of indie games on there too where it'll be like, all right, this would be like my indie game month where I go on and play like 4 or 5 different games and then unsubscribe again. Like CBS All Access. We're going to finish Disco and then...
Or HBO Go.
Yeah. We finish Disco and then unsubscribe until Picard. Subscribe, watch Picard, unsubscribe.